Olha aí, Navi Samaê, atleta 643. Categoria Classic Physique Open B, 27 atletas no palco.
All right, for all of you that are in here now, welcome back to Project Bodybuilding. Here with my live stream for the Arnold Classic South America. Today, well, not today. This stream, this hour, is going to consist of the Open Men's Prejudging. As you can see right now, that's not the case. They're still doing NPC Classic Physique, and I think that's it. I think on the schedule it said they're going straight to bodybuilding. Then they'll have wellness, so just 2 classes in the morning for at least the pro divisions. And then at night, I think it's still also just open and then wellness. At least that's what it said on the Muscle Contest website, which is who's running the show, Tarek El Gindi. All right. So, we'll probably just check back in. I do want to talk about a couple of topics before we actually get to the main event. So, we can go ahead and do that. I want to talk about Good Vito first and foremost. So Good Vito just posted these pictures. Like, these are obviously clearly backstage. Now, actually, before we go to that picture, I do want to go beforehand to the picture we saw just right here. Yeah, this was a couple hours ago, but it was from like 3 days out or something. He obviously isn't tan. He's obviously in his gym, in his posing room there at least. So he's very clearly not on stage. But the thing is, Good Vito is notorious for using Photoshop, filters, things like that. However, I think any way you slice it, this shot was impressive. I think the vacuum really helps him out. He already had a small waist, but just making that even smaller. He has one of the best structures in the IFBB currently. So making that even better is just crazy. And he hasn't even made his pro debut yet, but it is already one of the better structures in the IFBB. So he posted this, and I was thoroughly impressed. I posted it on my story, on my Instagram story, but I tried to be nice. I think, or maybe I did put the caption that said, no, I don't think I did. I was basically just thinking, if this translates to on stage, that's a big problem for both Tonio and Rafa. At least in these front shots, at least in the front lat spread and the front double especially. But the problem is, that's a big if. Does it translate on stage? That's iffy. I didn't know he had a vacuum. Yeah, he just did it. I think this is the first time he's ever done it. So let's fast forward to today, a couple hours ago. By a couple hours ago, I mean 25 minutes ago. He posted this, not hitting the vacuum, and I think as impressive as he was looking, in the other picture, this is impressive for sure, but like compared to what that last picture was, I don't think they're equal. For one, I noticed he was showing off his legs in that last at the press conference, and they look good. But here, in conjunction to the rest of his physique, like, I don't think they look as impressive as they were. Like, take a look at them here, right? Especially pay attention to this, what would be his left one there. Just take a look there. And then take a look here. Obviously, different angle. That last photo, the one that was 25 minutes ago, was taken at eye level. So that's always going to make your legs look a bit smaller because you're looking down at them, the further away from the camera. And here it's more of a, I'd say probably belly button kind of view. It's midline in terms of your body. So it's going to make everything look more balanced. And the legs look bigger. It's going to be interesting to see what his legs actually look like and what the rest of his physique actually looks like on stage. I really hope this translates. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't have to translate 100% to on stage, but I just don't want him to be another Instagram bodybuilder. I think he does have a lot of potential, but it's going to be definitely disappointing if it doesn't translate at all. But I think he can, just given the lineup, I think he will be top 5 regardless, just because the lineup isn't super deep. But to be fair, these are a lot of Brazilian names that I don't know. So from Brazil, yeah, M3 player, I assumed I'd get a lot of Brazilian fans this time. So hopefully you guys bring the love over here. But yeah, overall, this photo here isn't impressive for sure. Is it what his updates look like? No. And hopefully it just I want him so desperately to turn out how he looks like in the updates on stage, because if he does, that's going to be crazy. Let me check back into the stream real quick. And if this is lagging for you guys on this end, just go to the Muscle Contest International, open it up in a new window, and if you guys don't speak Portuguese or whatever, if you guys want to come back for my commentary, that'd be the way to do it and probably not get the lag, because I know this is probably lagging at least a little bit on your guys' end. So just go to the Muscle Contest International channel. They're live right now. You can probably watch it in semi-better quality, but you can keep me open too, so you can hear my commentary. So that's the word on Good Vito as of right now. And then I kind of see him battling it out with William Martins for a potential 4th or 3rd place. So William, he has so much going for him. His side shots are great. His most muscular, if he hides a certain thing that we'll get to, is great. But his front shots, not even the abs and thighs, because he can get rid of it. The front shots are absolutely derailed by his abysmal abs and waist. It is, I don't even know if I can find a picture. It's quite literally one of the weakest waists I've seen. I'll just say it's one of the worst waists I've ever seen. Just very bloated, washed out. Yeah, he doesn't post any pictures of it ever. But yeah, it's mainly in the lower abs. You can even kind of see here they're a little washed out. He's hiding it a lot with his hands, clearly. I would do the same. But we're going to see it on stage regardless. There's just, hopefully he pulls a vacuum. In those front shots, like I said, his abs and thighs was good. But if he can pull a vacuum off in the front double especially. The front last part isn't super bad, but the front, no, that's not him, by the way. But the front double, a vacuum would help him a ton. So yeah, he never posts any pictures of it. I don't think there will be a picture of it. But we can talk about his conditioning, because like I said, good from the side. And the other thing that he's good at is conditioning, right? So this is kind of the dilemma. If you cannot do the shape thing like some guys can, you're going to need to be undeniable in a couple of areas. Muscularity, which he's checking off, and then conditioning, which it seems like he's checking off as long as he doesn't blow it in the final days and the final hours. But I don't know if the comparison was here, but there was like this comparison video like floating around of all these guys' glutes. And William Martins, I don't think it's going to be on here. William Martins by far had the most shredded glutes. Let's see, is there a video? I believe this was a video. Maybe it's at the end. No, all just screenshots of a video. Okay, but you can see very, very shredded. So he's going to be one of the most shredded guys. He has to be. That he has to tick that box, because there's 3 main things in bodybuilding: shape, conditioning, and size. And in order to overcome shape, which seems to be the most important one increasingly throughout these shows, you got to be able to check that conditioning box off and that size box off. But still, if your shape is really bad, even if those other 2 things are good, even great, even beating guys that do have shape, it's just probably not going to be enough. Another guy I have heard about is I think they call him the Brazilian Nathan Diasha. I don't know what his name is. Carlos Andre. Okay. Yeah. So basically, the Brazilian Nathan Diasha, because he has that long torso, higher lat look. So we can take a look at this here. Could be a dark horse. He's definitely gaining some traction as we head into the show and as more names pop up. Hamstrings, I'm predicting a weaker. Yeah, those hamstrings in the back are definitely weaker, but the back itself looks pretty strong. Okay, could definitely come up. Like Nathan, he's kind of like an arms and delts dominant kind of physique, which is all right. Let's see. I think Martins will be a good surprise. He put in good condition this time. It's always a problem for him. Really. Okay, yeah. I kind of he could be a surprise, but like, even if Tonio and Raphael are going to be off, I just don't see him beating those guys simply because they're not going to have the winner have that kind of stomach. He can maybe even play second. Maybe. He can maybe pick off one of them if they're really off, but he's not going to pick off both. And it's like, maybe if he hit a vacuum, he probably could. Like, maybe if he just didn't show it to the judges ever at all in this contest, I think maybe he could, but I mean, that's kind of a big ask. Hopefully he does. I hope he comes out and hits that front double with a vacuum. It's exactly like Charles Griffin's situation. It's exactly like that. He was dead on arrival in most shows just because his first 2 shots sucked because his abs were horrendous. They weren't even abs anymore. But then he can win shows now because he was always good from the back and from the side. But now he has those front shots at least not getting blown out of the water by the other guys, and his conditioning is disgusting in a good way. So I kind of see William Martins and Charles Griffin as kind of in the same vein. Yes, I think he's good at like 3rd place. Let's see here. I guess, let me check back into the stream one more time. Yeah. Still classic. Okay. Let's break into Tonio Burton. We'll just go directly to his Instagram for this because he's not shy with the updates at all. And he kind of threw his hat in, not at the last minute of the show, but usually people announce, okay, 16 months out when they start the prep, here's what I'm prepping for. Tonio kind of like jumped in, I want to say like a month ago. But I don't think he never not intended to do the show just because the only show he planned on doing, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, was the New York Pro, and that's still over a month away from where we are now. So I think he probably always kind of planned to do either Detroit or this show, just in case he got beat by Nick Walker there after Nick Walker threw his hat in there. But maybe he was just always shredded and he could get shredded easily, and he was ahead. But before we get to the press conference thing, I do want to see. Oh, actually, Muscle Discord had a great exclusive update that we can take a look at. I think it was one day out. Yeah. Okay. So overall, as you can see on my comment right there, I do think he looks a little bit bigger for sure, a little bit more improved. And keep in mind, like, this is 24 hours out, so he's just in the midst of the carb load. So Tonio is known for that crazy 3D round muscle. He is Dexter Jackson, not really 2.0 because that applies that 2.0 kind of implies that he's better than Dexter. He's certainly not. But he's 2.0 in the terms of this is kind of like as close as physique-wise as we're going to get to Dexter Jackson. He reminds me of Kareth Bajo a lot as well. So very round already. Still has a lot to fill out. Shredded. And he has some good things going for him that Raphael doesn't, which are the back poses. Now, he only posted one of them, but the strongest one he did post, which is the rear double. And even if you're a Raphael fan, you can agree that his back is weak. It's maybe not as weak as some other guys' backs out there, especially even top pros. Like, I think his back is fairly good. It's at least fairly wide, and he has certain aspects going for him. But Tonio definitely is going to beat him in the rear double. I don't think Raphael has had the time to improve his back in between the Arnold, Ohio, and now. So that is one thing Tonio will have. Now, Tonio's path to victory. What does he need to do? He needs to have that completeness. He needs to be winning on that, right? He needs to peel off those back shots from... he needs to peel off those back poses from Raphael. He needs to be full enough that he can keep it close and things like the side shots, because Raphael is outmassing him by a lot, so he needs to keep things full and round too. He can maybe pick off the side chest. I don't see him picking off the side try. But he should probably get it close in both and try to pick off one. And then the front double and front lat, again, just hold it close, because while this is good, the shape is good, and the legs are crazy. What do we think of when we think of Raphael's poses? Crazy legs, good arms, and of course, better shape. Like, he's going to have better shape than Tonio, just because Raphael's shape is amazing. That's what he's known for. So, Tonio's path to victory is basically be undeniable. Kind of like in the same vein of William Martin's, because shape will go to Raphael, probably not by too much, because Tonio's shape is good, but it's going to go to Raphael clearly. So Tonio needs the condition for sure, which he definitely can do. Tonio is known for coming in great condition, and he needs to be very complete, but he needs everything to be a bit bigger than it was at the Olympia. So then we can go to Raphael. I'm actually going to go back to the Brazilian News Network here. See if we have anything recent from Raphael. No, that's the Living Ho guy. Didn't stand up at the press conference. He was back here when all these guys were showing off right there in the glasses, but didn't stand up, but he was all kind of dressed up, so I probably wouldn't have either. Okay. I think we'll have to go to his actual page then. Hopefully the lighting is good or the legs are going to get washed out. Well, we can take a look at the lighting right now. It's, the Arnold Sports is always dark. Like, you can take a look at when Raphael last won in 2022. It was pretty dark. When Beirut's won in 2023, it was all right. But yeah, I think just given the lighting, Tonio may have his work. It's going to be a little harder for Tonio. That is a good point. I feel like Tonio dropped the ball between New York and the Olympia. I honestly preferred him at New York, but that could be because he's black and the lighting at the Olympia was god-awful. So that certainly doesn't help. I think any improvement he did make in any condition he did bring, it was there. You can see it if you know what you're looking for. But just like actually just trying to look at the photo and compare, like there is no comparison because the Olympia lighting was so awful. But I will say I do like the New York Pro version more. I think he was more separated in the quads. I think he just had an overall kind of fresher look. Again, I'm sure a lot of that has to do with lighting, though. Is this... I feel like this is backstage at the Arnold. Yeah. Not the Arnold, Ohio, not the Arnold, South America. Okay. This probably isn't super recent. Okay, this is 7 days ago. Yeah, and this isn't even really a video, so... Not very indicative of probably what we'll see. Let's check the tag, but I'm sure he is tagged in so much on the daily. Yeah, we did get a couple of photos like this. They're black and white, so take that for what you will. Yeah, I mean, he didn't blow me away in terms of condition at the Arnold, Ohio. So, I mean, this condition here, again, black and white photo, doesn't really blow me away either. But I don't think he needs to win the conditioning to win the show. He doesn't need to be the most shredded. Okay, these are the same pictures. Well, they're the same lighting at least. Probably taken at the same time, they're just in color. Yeah, the conditioning comes through a little bit more on there. So yeah, I would say we're probably going to see a similar or maybe slightly better conditioning compared to the Arnold, Ohio, which is good enough to win. What do we have here? Taken on April the 4th, and today's the 6th. Okay. Yeah, I would say That may even be a bit better than Ohio, at least right here. Does anyone know why Ramon Dino is not doing the show? A severe case of pussitis, maybe? Besides that, I don't really know. Because there's really no point that Ramon shouldn't have done the show. Like, oh, I only prepped 6 weeks for the Arnold. Well, at least get a nice win here. Represent your country on your home turf. It would have been a good Brazilian battle. Fabio Junior is going to be there, who may not be close in placings to Ramon, but when you get compared 1-on-1, things get closer. When you have a lineup and a lot of these guys are between you, automatically things seem distant. But in actuality, all those guys at the Olympia level up until like second are actually pretty close together. Like a lot of the times they can go back and forth. But when you just have mano a mano, Fabio Junior, Ramon Dino, Ramon win. But it would be nice to see. It'd be a good battle. Maybe not the most difficult battle for Ramon to win, but it'd be fun to watch. So yeah. Anyway, back to Raphael. Probably, like I said, equal conditioning, or based on this update, depending on what happens, maybe slightly better than Ohio. Okay. These are still the amateurs in classic physique. I would imagine they Open takes the stage around noon, and it won't be that long. Like this show has like 9 guys in it or something like that. So yeah, I think this is Raphael's show to win, and I did put a poll out in the chat. Who places higher, Good Vito or William Martins? And most of you are saying Good Vito. I think that is pretty fair. Pretty fair. As long as Good Vito, as long as he nails his conditioning, so to at least be comparable to William, because William will be absolutely diced. As long as Good Vito keeps it like somewhat close, I think the shape will allow him to prevail. Just because William Martins makes such a poor first impression in those first 2 front shots. And that could linger over the judging just subconsciously. Okay. So I guess I will put out a new poll just for the overall winner. Okay. Okay. Let's check back into the stream real quick, because they should be coming on pretty soon. They have some comparisons going on. Interesting. Why this guy's just okay. These Brazilian shows always crack me up. They always seem to be so so disorganized. Okay. So I do want to go through a video I did. I put out yesterday or last night? Yesterday morning, I believe. So this is for what we got. This is probably the most accurate thing we have to go off of. Let me make sure this is in frame. Make sure we can see everybody. Okay. I'm going to cut off a little bit of Good Vito's face, but I kind of just threw Good Vito in as a wild card between Rafa and Antonio because I thought it'd make the comparison more interesting, and it did a little, but I mean, he's probably going to be third, so me covering his face isn't too big of a deal. But we have a three-way comparison here. Raphael at the 2024 Arnold, Ohio, Tonio at the 2023 Olympia, and then Good Vito at whatever show he did to turn pro, his pro qualifier. So out of these poses, again, you can see that Tonio has a good pose. He has solid everything, but just compared to Raphael, even to Tonio, he doesn't have the shape. His waist to shoulder and lat ratio is not as good as either of those guys. In fact, Good Vito has the best shoulder to waist ratio here. His lats are incredibly wide, and his arms are probably the best. Raphael's legs are probably the best here. But overall, I did end up giving this pose to Good Vito just because he wasn't winning. He wasn't going to win much anyways. He didn't win a single of the pose, and he came third in a lot. So I was just like, yeah, give it to him. But I can tell you, just against Raphael versus Tonio, I have Raphael in the shot all day long, at least versus those two. But you can give Good Vito the nod for the overall win. Okay. And the front lat spread, I think that's a better pose for Tonio than the front double. And I think it could be a good pose for Good Vito as well. I think he has the structure for it, but he just looks a little awkward. And his photo is obviously very blurry, so I just put him in third with an asterisk beside it because I just don't know how that's going to look on stage. And the photo didn't help me one bit. But, so I put him in third. He definitely, they all look good here. He definitely has the potential to not be last in this pose out of these three guys. But versus Tonio and Rafa, I mean, it's just for Rafa, you have basically what you have on Tonio. Like, it's like Tonio's photo just got a little bit bigger, and then he changed skin colors. All right, the chest is still thick on Rafa. The arms and delts pop. The lats are not super wide, but they taper very nicely. The taper is more impressive than the width, honestly. But one thing you do get extra on Rafa is the quad separation. Tonio's quads are big and they're cut, but they just don't have that deeper separation that Raphael's does. Raphael's do. Would love for the judging to... Okay. So, Rafa, basically just Tonio bigger. I don't see why you would pick Tonio in this shot because he's literally just Raphael but smaller. So in this case, bigger is better, and that's what I kept saying a lot throughout this comparison. Bigger is better as long as things are equal or close. Like, this is still a bodybuilding contest to keep in mind. We still want to see people with a lot of muscle, and if the shape is good and you're bigger and just more muscular, you can afford to lose that conditioning a little bit, maybe even a little completeness. And that just is what it is. In the side shots, I think it's closer. Good Vito is honestly this is a clear photo, so I would call it an honest letdown. I don't think he's getting contorted by the picture or anything. I think he smooths out in the arms and chest, shoulders region. The side leg looks good. I don't think we need to. I don't need to discuss that. Would love for the judging to go in the direction of Brandau's type of physique. I think we're getting there slowly but surely. I think now that there's a lot of talent that kind of fits into the mass with class suit, I think now that the judges have a lot more to choose from, they're going to, because usually you would have like a mass with class guy in the top 10 that was worthy of a top 10 spot. Now that you have a bunch of them filling those spots regardless just because they're getting so good, I think the judges are more inclined to pick those physiques, not just because they want that to go in that direction, but also because you can't make your Mr. Olympia the guy that stands out. I know you'd kind of want that, but at the same time, it makes more sense to pick someone that's aligned with most of the lineup than it does with someone that stands out. So now that guys like Raphael are coming up, and I think they want to move that in that direction regardless, but there are just more guys to go around, I think they're going to start filling the top spots regardless. So I fully believe that they will go in that direction eventually. And I'll probably have to change my judging criteria because of it. Let me check in here on the stream. I won't cut back on the computer. Just checking on my phone. Okay, they're still doing NPC Classic. Or maybe they're leaving the stage. Or is this just another call out? No, it's just another call out. Okay. Yeah, so in the side chest, good veto, basically let down. Great in the side leg. Not so conditioned in the upper body and the pecs. They don't really... I expected better pecs, to be honest. Tonio has better pecs. But, you think about this guy, Tonio, good veto, massive guy. We always talk about how massive he is and on and on and on. He should be winning the side chest pretty easily just based on that, based on the the Instagram reputation, but he doesn't. So I have him in third here, fair and square. This is a clearer photo for him. I just have him in third, fair and square. And another thing to pay attention to is the posing. He does a lot of weird things when he poses, a lot of squatting down when he doesn't need to, and he's already a shorter guy. I think you guys will be surprised about how short he is. He looks huge. He looks like 6 foot, and just more massive muscularity-wise in his Instagram photos. But he's really... he is actually Tonio's height. He may even be a bit shorter. I went on a limb and put them as the same height just for simplicity's sake, but I think he's actually, based on what I saw at the press conference, he may actually be the same height as Tonio, if not a little bit shorter. So yeah, I'd put him in third place. He just doesn't have the polish, the conditioning up top, and his pecs are the weakest. So he just needs to fill it out a little bit more and bring it in up top. And second, I would put Tonio. Great pop, great roundness, but it's just like Raphael, when he made all of his improvements, he improved most in the chest, shoulders, and arms. And he already had a great lower body. We know that. So that basically sets him up to win this by default. Like his pecs beat Tonio's, his delts beat Tonio's, his arms beat Tonio. And then as a whole, he looks the thickest from the side. It's just, this is another one where just bigger is better, especially in the side chest shot. It's no comparison. Now in the back poses, this is where it gets interesting. When do they start? They just have NPC on right now. They have NPC Classic Physique on right now. And I think it's going to be tentatively at 12. And I think they're getting through it now. Yeah, there was actually a lot of amateur classic competitors, and they have all the classes to go through because, it's broken up differently for NPC. So, they'll, I'd say around 12. I'd say around 12 is when the main event starts. Now, the back poses, I can tell you right now, I don't think even though this was 2 years ago for Good Veto, I don't think we're going to see... We'll probably see an improvement, maybe even a big improvement, but he starts with such a deficit that in order to even come close to winning this shot, let alone sniffing second place, he needs to improve. He needs to have the best back transformation ever. Lower body is fine. Arms and delts, I think if they were a bit sharper, they'd look fine. But the back is just abysmal. It's not just a conditioning thing that's making that back look shallow. It's just the lack of detail and maturity. So, turning our attention back to Raphael and Tonio. Raphael, like I said earlier, has the width and overall size. I'd probably even give him the delts and the arms. But in terms of all those nooks and crannies, the upper back detail, the overall back conditioning and tightness in the lower back, things like that, and even the tightness in the lower body is going to Tonio. And again, back thickness and detail, that's the biggest win you can have in this pose. That's going to Tonio. So at least in this back pose, I don't think Raph's overall size and width is enough to overtake Tonio in this one. And I am predicting Tonio in a very, very, probably less than an hour away to win this pose. Now the second back pose is a little more interesting. Rafa is wider. We already established that. But Tonio just looks super dense. His lats are super full, kind of like Dexter Jackson's were. And I think that is enough for Tonio to overcome Raphael's just raw width, because Raphael's back just kind of smooths out Antonio just has that density to his back. And I would also give Tonio the lower body. I understand if you guys want to give Rafael the lower body just because he's so much bigger, but to me, I like seeing those peeled hams and the glutes. But, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, bigger is better most of the time as long as things are equal. Brandau's glutes are boxed in and his hams have some good separation, but I kind of want a little more. Antonio's impressed me more. And then as for third place, yeah, that's good Vito. His width is better than his detail, but it's still just not enough. Solid lower body, though. In the side tricep, it's again more the same from the side chest. Bigger is better. Everywhere, but honestly, the tricep on Rafa is better than Tonio's. I may like Tonio's tricep just a little bit more because it's longer. I like its shape more, I like its insertion more. But Rafael is just eating Tonio here. And then good Vito, honestly, surprisingly, like looks a little too streamlined. His pecs have dissolved. His horseshoe is extremely skinny, and his lower body kind of looks a little soggy. So Rafael kind of takes this one for the same reasons in the side chest. He's just so much thicker than Tonio. Tonio's pretty streamlined, pretty full, a bit drier. Has some better abs maybe, but it's just not enough. In a pose from the side where you're looking for overwhelming thickness and size, it's just not enough. Has Open started? Open has not started yet. I will check back in. They should be starting very, very soon. Nope, so they're still doing Classic. Yeah. Still doing Classic over on the actual stream. It's on the Muscle Contest International page. Just in case my stream lags, you can go over there and watch that one. Open both windows. But yeah, it is not started. Is this even fair using 110p photos of good Vito? No. And I said it wasn't. It's certainly not fair. Some of his photos were clearer, like that back double, and other photos, they were a lot clearer. But when I started this comparison, even in the video, I said Tonio, good Vito's inclusion was a last-minute thing. I kind of just threw him in to make it more fun, kind of be a wild card, and just kind of see how he stacks up. Most of the time, I just ranked him in third, just because I said I didn't know, because I don't know how he's going to translate on stage. It's not even just the quality of the photos that do good Vito dirty. These are like 2 years ago, when he wasn't even technically an IFBB pro. He was in the Russian league or whatever. But yeah, obviously not fair for Tonio. For good Vito, excuse me. Tonio looks a little awkward in the side tricep. Yeah, he kind of wants to show off the abs, but doesn't want to show off the tricep, which I think he should just ultimately show off the tricep. But all right, fair enough, man. I join. Yeah, it's just it's good Vito's photos are awful. Most of them are, but to be fair, it's just I have no idea how he's gonna look. Not to mention, I didn't want to use anything I found on his Instagram, because he's just notorious for using filters and whatnot. And then in the abs and thighs, I talked to someone earlier in the comment section who said Rafael or Good Vito should have won this just because Tonio has a little bit of stomach protrusion, and I see that, but I am just not impressed with the other guys' abs. I'm impressed with their quads, Good Vito's and Rafa's. I think they have the best quads compared to Tonio. They all have good quads, but Tonio has the least amount of separation, so I would even put Good Vito and definitely Rafa above Tonio. But in terms of the abs, it flips. Tonio has the best abs. Does he have a little stomach protrusion? Yes, but my other options to pick in this pose weren't exactly great. So I kind of just ended up going with Tonio, but it's far from a perfect pose for Tonio. Again, he's just like Dexter Jackson in that regard. Dexter Jackson had the same kind of lower stomach distension. Even though his abs were great, he always had that little bit of pop in the lower abs, I think just genetically how he was set up. So I don't think Tony has like a bubble gut or anything, but some people may not like it. But at the end of the day, they all have solid quads, so you can check that off for each of them. And then for the abs, I would have Tonio. Just from a pure six-pack standpoint, he has the most developed abs. Maybe not the best waistline, but the most developed abs. I have to get some beers and get ready for the show. Well, I would imagine you have a couple minutes. It's now 12, and I assume they would go on at 12, but we're still doing Classic. For amateurs, mind you. but Classic on the pro level will take place tomorrow. Personally rooting for Good Vito. I love his shape. I do too. In fact, I'll go back to the shot for you. This is one of the clearer photos I did have of Good Vito. Out of all 3 guys in the front double, I actually had Good Vito winning. It's not Tonio. I had him in last. Just because Tonio's shape just isn't as good as Rafa's, and Rafa's shape isn't as good as Good Vito's. I think Rafa beats Good Vito on the legs, but that's really about it. I like Good Vito's shoulder to waist ratio. His arms are better, slightly. A little bit more hang to the triceps and pretty similar biceps. So I have Good Vito actually winning the shot. Rafael in a strong second though, and then Tonio in third. But yeah, back to the last shot, the most muscular. Again, absolutely horrible photo for Good Vito, but there are some actual flaws that he just doesn't hit the pose right. That's what I'm trying to say. And I can't quite put my finger on it. I think his entire posing needs some work. Do they have a free live stream like they did the Arnold UK in Ohio? Yes. Just in case my string lags, go to the Muscle Contest International YouTube page. It's going to be on the YouTube. It's not on our website. It's Muscle Contest International. You can have that open while you have my commentary open. I'll show everyone here. Just check back into the stream. So yeah, still doing Classic. Muscle Contest International. It'll just be live on there. So yes, it is free, and I'll be able to show it here. But just in case it lags, which it probably will, open it up in another tab. And then someone said, look at his front double he posted recently. It's insane. Yes, and I touched on that earlier, and I will touch on that again before we start here. The front double with the vacuum looked great. But the front double backstage didn't look as great. But the thing is, he looks so good on Instagram. I don't know if it's even possible for him to measure up, which he doesn't have to 100% measure up to what he's been posting on Instagram with the filters and whatnot. But as long as he's like 90% comparable, like as long as we can tell it's the same person, because some people step on stage from Instagram and you can't even tell it's the same guy. As long as it's, Good Vito lives up to most of what he's been posting, he's going to do very well here. And I know a lot of people don't want to say that, including part of myself, but just because he hasn't yet proven himself. This is his pro debut after all. I think he could do very well here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then last pose. As I was saying, Good Vito needs to work on the posing. This is something that he's going to need to work on a lot, and hopefully he did. Just based on what he's been posting on Instagram, not even like from a physique point of view, but from an execution point of view, his execution of the poses has seemed like it's gotten better. But here, I think he's leaning forward a bit too much. The traps, which should look huge, he has good traps, like flatten out completely. The arms and delts, especially like the tricep sweep on the outer part of the arm, doesn't look the best, and he doesn't have anything going on in the chest. He kind of just needs some more maturity and some better condition, that like we saw on the side chest. And then in second place, I think this is the closest pose out of the comparison between number 1 and 2. Good Vito actually could win this one. Like, he has all the tools to actually... I'd put him in third now just because I don't know. But he has every single tool he needs. He had it back in 2022. He just needs to unveil it a bit more, tie it all together with some better posing, and it can catapult him up to first. I fully believe that. But now just based on what we know, the two... I don't want to say more serious contenders, but you guys know what I mean. The two more tried and tested competitors, Tonio and Rafa. Tonio is shorter, not as wide, but with that, he's filling out his frame more, and you can kind of tell. He has a lot of pop, he has a lot of compact mass, and the better conditioning. Look at the pop in the delts, the arms, the chest is more conditioned, and the legs look good here. But Rafael's legs look better, they're more separated. His delts look fantastic, his arms are very thick. And his chest, although it probably could use a little bit more thickening up in like the upper region and maybe a little bit more detail, it's very good. And I like his square pec look compared to Tonio's kind of bunched up look, kind of like a Sean Clarita. Yeah. So overall, and more clavicle width for Rafael as well. And I basically just said if Tonio was behind Rafa and they were hitting the same pose, you wouldn't even see Tonio. And I'm just a little more impressed with Rafa, but I think at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter I think Raphael wins so many posts that you can give this one to Tony and it doesn't quite matter. Okay, maybe they're starting open now. And I'll make it full screen if they are starting open. And again, if the stream lags or for whatever reason you want a better quality picture, go to the Muscle Contest International YouTube channel, completely free, and watch the stream there. I'll try to keep the volume on as much as I can too, as long as there's no like music to be copyrighted. Like if it's just some regular like dubstep beat, I could, or some EDM or whatever it's called nowadays, I can probably keep that on. But if it's like copyrighted music, I don't know how much I'll be able to put on. But most of it's going to be in Portuguese anyway. I don't know what percentage of this audience will be Portuguese, so I'll probably just keep it turned off.
Preparados? Atleta número 1 do Brasil, Dani Balbino. E aí a Dani Balbino no palco. E aqui nos comentários comigo, nada mais, nada...
Oh, so they are going to do wellness first? Is that what that is? Let me check the schedule. Because it said bodybuilding would be first, but that never happens. Bodybuilding's always last, even during prejudging. So yeah, if this is, let's see, today's the 6th. They did have bikini to do for NPC. So I don't know. I very simply cannot tell the women's divisions apart. Okay. So, let's see. This probably is. Probably not amateur. Maybe this is wellness. Huh. Either way, I think this pushes the show back quite a bit. Probably like another 30 minutes. Okay. Let's go back to looking at some updates. All right. How many minutes do they have for presentation? Oh, I think I don't think they have minutes. I think it's like 30 seconds. If this is amateur, they definitely don't have any more than a minute. And I think just for like coming out, they probably have like 30 seconds, I would say. I think that's usually what they do. If this is like pro wellness, which I have no idea. Like I couldn't tell you. And they may get a minute. I don't know how they would even use the full minute. But they would probably get a full minute. believe someone in chat was talking about this photo. Like I said, very impressive. And if this translates even remotely on stage, he'll win this pose out of the entire show. He'll beat Rafael Antonio. I have no problem saying that Good Vito can win poses. But the problem is, it doesn't translate super well backstage. There's no filter here. There's nothing. And he's not pulling the vacuum anymore. Maybe he like filled up too much, like actually like on food and just can't do it. But he doesn't look as impressive as the other photo. Okay. I think it's Wellness Pro. They look too good to be amateur. Yeah, that's what I was kind of saying. I thought the conditioning on some of the girls looked too good to be amateur. So that means it's probably going to be like another, depending on what the lineup is, probably another 30 minutes because they got to go through everybody, maybe run a couple of comparison rounds. Although, I'd say 20 to 30 minutes. Hopefully. No offense. Yeah, I think you're right. The one, I think it is Wellness Pro. So, yeah, I'm talking more about Good Vito than anybody else, just because I think he's the most exciting, at least for me. This is his pro debut, and that's why I put him. I recently did a video. It was called like the top. I think it was 8. It ended up being 8, not a solid 10. The top 8 bodybuilders to look out for in 2024. Not necessarily new guys, but guys that may have flown under the radar, may have taken a hiatus, but mostly new guys. And Good Vito was on that list. I put him higher up on the list though, not in a good way, like higher up in terms of like he was like number 7, number 6. So I was like, Good Vito can be amazing, but I think we're more likely to see an amazing Good Vito down the road. So I would say taper your expectations for now. And this is going to be his first true test. I wouldn't even call it a test, you know. This is his pro debut. I don't think we should be judging him super harshly. I mean, maybe a little since he likes to edit his photos. You know, you can't edit your photos and then expect to live up to the hype on stage because that just never is going to work by definition. So that's the main thing I'm hoping. Can he look somewhat like he does in the Instagram photos? If he doesn't, I don't know how much to take him seriously, even though he is a new pro and all that, because I don't like to see guys editing their photos. I just think it's useless. You're going to get, if you are a bodybuilder, you are going to get exposed at one point or another when you compete for editing your photos. So hopefully I just want to see him compare well to his photos that he's been posting. Okay, still doing individuals for wellness. Maybe I can find a little bit of the press conference here. Because Good Vito's legs looked a lot better than they did on the last photo we just saw. But yeah, here's him versus Tonio, and as you can tell, Tonio probably standing a little closer to the to the edge of the stage, but Good Vito is like a little bit shorter than Tonio, which is, I mean, Tonio's already kind of short. He's kind of known for being, you know, X212 competitor. Um, Good Vito isn't very tall, so we need to see him next to the other guys. Yeah, exactly like I'm saying here. He's just not that tall at all. And that's great on your own because you can pull off the illusion because no one knows how tall or short you are by yourself because you look. It's just that's the only thing to compare it to, especially on a blank bodybuilding stage. But I mean, it's the bodybuilding shows are more about the wheels, more than the wheels. So I don't know. I'm kind of holding my breath here. Yeah, very good set of legs, at least quads, and his hamstrings from what they were in the comparison I did, they looked all right. The glutes needed to be brought in, but yeah. Oh, here's a good video. I don't know who the guy on the right is. Yeah, good video showing off the legs there. You know what bugs me about this entire press conference? You saw Raphael over there in the corner. He's the guy in the suit and the sunglasses. Look over to the left of your screen, right here. Yeah, he's right there, right by the play button. You notice he's off his phone, respectfully watching, even though he's not posing down because, he's wearing nicer clothes. He's being respectful and watching his fellow competitors. Why is Brazilian Nathan Diaz on his phone? I don't. I mean, it's not a big deal, I guess, to most people. But that just rubs me the wrong way. It's just like, bro, get off your damn phone. Come on. And it's not like he was just like there to take a picture. Like, oh look, I'm at the press conference. Like, get off your phone. Ridiculous. Antonio looks very round, bubbly, as always. The stomach, I noticed, it does look a little full, I must say. But the back is good. I mean, good video. There's a reason he's not showing his back. That's for sure. This guy has good legs too. Guys, make sure if you're in the chat, make sure you like the stream, share it, subscribe, and join the chat. Still wellness individuals on the actual show. Oh, here is another interesting update that I didn't go over initially about Good Video. I know I'm only talking about Good Video, but it's just because he's either third or I don't see him placing much higher than third. Does he have potential to win? I mean, I think everyone does on any given day. Doesn't mean it's necessarily a huge percentage. I would say maybe 0.1% chance. But that's certainly not zero. But maybe 0.1% is a little harsh. Maybe 1-2%. I just don't think he's brought it all together yet. That back still looks not the best. The glutes look more shredded though. They're in more so than they were on the photos I used. Do you know when the Open will be on stage? I don't know an actual time. Right now, wellness individuals are still on, so they haven't even done wellness comparisons yet. We're probably still looking at another 20 to 30 minutes. I don't know how many more there are. I do find it weird though that there's only 2 divisions today and only 2 tomorrow. I think the only divisions they ended up having at the show were wellness bikini for the women and open and classic for men, which has been interesting considering the Arnolds had both the same divisions. They didn't have every one of them because, it's the Arnold, but they had both the same lineup of divisions at Ohio in the UK. But yeah, that's enough of that. Back to this update of Good Vito. Like I said, the condition looks okay. I think he still needs more maturity and details in the upper chest, pec, shoulder region, chest, pec region. He just needs more, kind of like Derek Lunsford, more detail, more hardness up there, which will probably come with time. More maturity, more details. Everywhere else looks kind of fine. But the back is... Everywhere from the front and side is okay. As long as he's tweaked a couple of poses, like the side tricep probably needs a little bit of work, but everything else looks solid, especially if he's in better condition. It's just the back is going to hold him back. But maybe not by as much as we think. The back is 2 poses. Raphael, if he wins the show, he's probably not going to win the back. I'd almost guarantee it. Either back shot. I don't think he's going to win either of them. But I still have him in the driver's seat to win the show. Let's see what you guys are saying in the poll, actually. Yeah. Actually, you think Good Vito has a higher chance than Tonio. Interesting. Not by much. Raphael is winning this poll 65%. Good Vito. Tonio will destroy Brandao. I think either way, it's probably going to be closer. But I certainly think Tonio can win. I would give him a 20% chance. 20-25. I think Tonio can certainly win on conditioning and completeness, especially from the back. He's going to have a better back than Raphael, just straight up. And that's how he can kind of weave his way into victory there. Still just doing wellness routines. We can just probably... I think I am better served watching the video from the press conference yesterday. Or 2 days ago at this point. Yeah, Tonio's stomach. I get it, he's not on an actual stage. That dude on the phone just bugs me. Like, he's not even taking pictures. He's just texting on his phone. Like, to be invited to a press conference in your home country, because I'm pretty sure he's from Brazil as well, and then just to be on your phone. As a promoter, I would kind of take disrespect. Who is your favorite physique in this lineup? For me, it would be Brandao, I guess. Yeah, probably Brandao just by default. I really like Tonio. And I did like him probably a little bit more back a little earlier. I liked him more at the New York Pro than I did the Olympia. But Brandao is definitely my favorite. I think I may be hard on Brandao in my criticism and whatnot, but that's just because I firmly believe he can win the Olympia one day. He's just 30 and he's just hitting a stride, basically. He just improved a lot in the last year, like 15 pounds of stage weight. So I think he can win the Olympia, just straight up. I think Raphael, in 5-7 years, he can make a push for that title. Some things kind of have to fall fall into place outside of his control maybe. Like, you know, we're going to have to start phasing out. Not that Hadi is done by any means, but Hadi's older. He's still kind of part of that older guard. So, you know, you'll have to phase older guys out. Like Brandon will go first. He'll probably be that first out of that top 10. Bonac is kind of out. He'll be back this year, but I mean, he's kind of out of that top 10 right now. If he somehow qualifies and makes it this year, I'd probably still have him in the top 10, just because if he qualified, assuming he did qualify, if he's good enough to qualify, he'll probably be in the top 10. But then after that, you know, you'll have to start phasing out some of the old guard. Hadi will probably be one of the last ones to go on that old guard unless something happens, God forbid. And then I think Brandao can be part of that new massive class era, guys like Andrew, Samson, and then shorter guys like Nick and Derek kind of bringing something a little different. Derek kind of bringing the best of both worlds, kind of the freak factor from Nick Walker and that open level of size, but then also some good aesthetics. Brandao is going to dwarf Tonio. Yeah, if Tonio wins on anything, it won't be size. It'll be completeness. It'll be he picks up the back poses and the better conditioning, and that's a tightrope to walk. So I don't look for. I think he can win, especially if Brandao is off. But we saw from the update, Brandao's not off. I think it was on Brandao's page. I think it was tagged. It was somewhere around here. Those are screenshots from the video I'm looking for. There's my video. Giles Thomas. What a great chat. If you guys are getting a little bored here and need a little bit of build up to the Arnold Brazil and some other topics, head over there and then pop back in like 20 minutes. See if Open is on. I'm looking for a specific video from Rafa. Somewhere around here. Oh, here's the video that I didn't see. I didn't see that this was a video. Again, in black and white. But the conditioning, you can see now that this is moving, and we can see like those the fingers, you know, the striations, and the delts. Yeah. I think Raphael with some more maturity and some dryness as he goes throughout his career would be even better. Because his muscle still kind of looks new and fresh, and some people like that look, and I like it currently. It works for him, but I think just with a little bit more dryness and grain to him, it'd be even better. Maybe he'll show the back. I hope he does. Probably not, though. Yeah. Let me check back in real quick. Are they still doing individuals? Okay, good. They are doing comparisons. So that means we are very close to Open. Open's probably 15, 20 minutes away. I was hoping that was a brand out from the Arnold. Maybe we can find a video of him from the Arnold. This is an interesting transformation, actually. This is from him just before he turned pro or something like that. Giles was telling me about this. And then he added so much muscle just between that and his next year, which was like in 2017, when he did finally turn pro. And then now you can see the size difference is just crazy. So, you know, we keep telling this guy to grow, grow, grow. You gotta get the mass. You know, 7-8 meals a day, 10 meals a day, whatever it takes. But he's done a lot. Like, take a look from where he started. Like, he has done a lot. Does he need more? Yeah, sure. But props where it's due. That's an incredible transformation. Maybe it was just this video. Maybe I'm just not all there. No. It was definitely this one. Yeah, this is the video I was talking about. I think this, even though it's a darker kind of in the hotel lighting, I think this is kind of more indicative of what we're going to see, because we see the lower body conditioning here. I'm just predicting him to be on par or slightly better than Ohio. I think he has every reason to be slightly better than at Ohio. That was him and Neil Hill's first show together. So they've got some intel. They've probably maybe not gone back to the drawing board, but they've tweaked what they need to. He'll be better this time. I'm pretty sure of it. Or at least on par. Take a look at that side chest shot when he brings it out again. Yep. Take a look at those most muscular here. Look at all the detail through the chest and shoulders. Look at the pop. And the striations in this one, yeah. That's a good shot for him. He should start hitting that one more than the hands clasped. But I think he likes to hit that one. Who do you think has the most potential to be the next Ronnie or Phil in the current competitors? I still think Samson, if he gets his shit together now at the Olympia, he still has time to maybe not pull off the amount of wins, but still dominate as much as Ronnie did or Phil. I don't think Andrew. I think Andrew just has too much to do, and he's too old. Like Andrew is like 38 or something like that. He's a bit older. He's in his mid 30s. So I don't think Andrew. I think Nick Walker, even if he won the Olympia, would always be in trouble because of things outside of his control. Like if Nick Walker, if he ever wins the Olympia, it's going to be because the shapely guys came out of shape and he just outmassed and outconditioned them. So basically, he's kind of always, even though he may be 110% every single time he walks on stage, if someone with shape is actually on, if enough guys like that are on, he's always going to risk running into them and getting surpassed. Maybe, honestly, maybe Derek. Maybe Derek. I mean, as much as I don't think he should have won last year, I think now that he is in the driver's seat, I think the dynamic kind of opens itself up more to having Derek continue to win. I don't even think Hottie can at this point. Like, because let's be honest, Hottie, according to most of us, he slammed the door in Samson's face, even at the Arnold UK. But even though like Samson got slightly better, the judges saw it within a few points. Like there was a lot of first place votes for Samson, even at the Arnold UK. So it's going to be a shapely guy. I kind of see Derek to be the most popular, the most dominant champion. If Derek can be strided in the chest and shoulders, he can be dominant. I agree. I would say Derek because he's so new to Open and he can prove a lot still. I would say so. I think, as much as I'm not a fan of Derek, to be honest, personality-wise, sure, and I watch a lot of his videos, I'm just not a fan of his physique. I think he's missing a good most muscular. I think he's definitely missing an abs and thighs. The vacuum and thighs doesn't count. It could be a part of it. We need to see the abs and thighs. We need to see that. His back is phenomenal, though. His vacuum in the front double, I'm not opposed to. His front lat spread, could be better. He just is missing a lot of things, to be honest. And honestly, if you're going to go down the route of Derek Lunsford and kind of have that more mass of the class thing, I'd rather see Samson winning the Olympia, to be honest. Because like if we're just going with who we like more and whose shape is better, I'd rather see Samson win. Derek still needs a ton of quads. I think it's just the way they're shaped. I just don't think, and just how wide he is up top, I agree he needs something, but I don't think he can like get them much bigger. I think maybe it may be an adductor problem, but his quads, I don't know. I don't know. Let's take a look here. Let's get to the bottom of this. Yeah, I think it may just be an adductor issue. When Derek moves his quads, they look very big, just not in the front posts. Yeah, I think that's fair. Cause like I mean, right there they look fine, but at the same time, they still look disproportionate. Like they still, and that's probably just because he is so wide up top. He's always going to look smaller downstairs. It just is what it is. His wingspan for being a shorter guy is quite long. Um, yeah, I mean, I just don't know what he can do to improve the quads, to be honest, because I don't even know if it's necessarily a quads issue. Because I think they need to come up, but at the same time, I don't know if like they need to come up. Maybe it's an adductor issue. Here, I don't like how they look. Okay, still doing wellness callouts. Oh yeah, on picture they look great. Yeah, I'm trying to find a video because I think that would tell a little bit more. Yeah, but yeah, like even here, even like shoulder, they just look disproportionate. Like they look great, but at the same time they look smaller. I don't really know what to make of it. And they're still separated and whatnot. They're still all right, but and the side and the back, they're honestly very very good. Like look at the. I don't think we've seen glutes that straight in a long long time. And the hamstrings, they're all right. Nick Walker has the best hamstrings nowadays, but so here's a better video. Still baffles me how they say the Olympia says they're going to fix the stage production, but they still roll out the smoke at a bodybuilding contest. The primary sense being used is sight, and you need to see these guys. Yeah, it's the inner quads, I think. That's why I kind of think maybe adductors. Yeah, because even back there's kind of a little bit of a gap. Yeah, I think maybe just because he has shorter inserting adductors, I don't even really know what to make of it. They don't look that detailed there either, I gotta be honest. I think Derek is like Nick Walker with a smaller waist. Same criticisms I have of Derek, I also have a Nick. Only difference is Nick being bigger. That's fair. I mean, yeah, there are similar in a lot of ways. Great backs. Front shots are a little wonky. Like, from the upper bodies, they look okay. Even Nick's waist, when he's like pulling up on the abs, looks okay. But then when you take the whole thing in totality, Nick's stubby legs makes it look a little bit odd. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Has open category been already? No. We're waiting on wellness to get done, and then they'll be on after these ladies. So pretty soon. I don't know how many more callouts they have. Maybe 10 more minutes, if that. This could be their last call out. I'm not too sure. Derek has those, crap. Derek has those stubby legs, just a much smaller waist, so it doesn't look as bad from the front. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Part of the illusion. Okay, so they're bringing out some of the same girls, so I imagine we're getting pretty close to the end here. Raphael is, excuse me, good Vito's smash next division, please. I certainly wouldn't go that far. Hot take, but Hottie's legs weren't improved at all. It was just the waist got so much smaller. I think the, I don't know. I think at the 2023 Olympia, they were just down. They looked severely flat, especially in the sweeps. So I think just kind of regrouped some of that, maybe brought back a little bit of the fullness. I don't know if it's true improvement, but they were a little bit fuller there. But the smaller waist definitely did help the most in terms of the illusion. Interesting to see good Vito on stage because I'm from Russia. He was disqualified for a doping test in bodybuilding, but in fact he was just not comfortable for management with the Russian IFBB. Yeah, that's fair. And who doesn't want to be a part of the prestigious IFBB Pro League, which he is now a part of and did so very easily. Bruh. What? Were they taking a picture? I seriously don't get these divisions. Okay, yeah. So that means Open should be up next. Perfect. I love how they put on the schedule that at 12 there was going to be open bodybuilding and then wellness to follow. Sure enough, that was a lie. That was in fact a lie. Okay, so Open should be up next. I'll turn this up a little bit. I don't know how loud it is for you guys.
Vocês estão preparados? Open no palco.
As long as there's not copyrighted music, I'll keep it on.
Competidor número 1 do Brasil, Rafael
All right, Raphael's the first one out. Let's take a look. All right, here he is. To me, I think he looks, I think a bit more conditioned than he was in Ohio. I don't remember seeing the glutes like this in Ohio. Just a touch, but yeah. Honestly, Vito looked like Mr. Olympia in that one update. Yeah, from the front and on Instagram. Too bad he is notorious for messing around with his pictures. Yeah, Raphael, probably a bit drier. A bit more conditioned than he was in Ohio. Arnold Classic South America. All right, here comes Tonio. Yeah, I mean, he's on for sure. These guys are both going to look great by themselves, so we really need to see them together in order to really gauge what's happening here. So, like I could say, Tonio looks great all day long, but it's really gonna matter more how much he looks beside him, more so than other competitors, if that makes any sense. Yeah, great back. But I just need to see the size difference between him and Raphael. I don't know about that vacuum, Antonio. Yeah, with the longer rib cage, with the longer torso, excuse me, I don't... Just keep it locked in, to be honest. That should be enough. And that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I do want to see a good video. Good video, excuse me. Okay, here's the dude that was on his phone at the press conference. Raphael a bit soft? No. I thought... In some things, in like the arms and the delts, I thought maybe he was, but then again, like, the glutes look a little bit more in than they were in Ohio. Tonio needs more oil on the skin, I mean. Yes, he does. Brazilian commentary like hardcore wrestling. Oh, it is. You can hear the fans, too. It's crazy. And Tarek Elgindi, he always hypes everything he does up. Sometimes to terrible effect, but yeah. All right, good veto. Tonio is narrow for me. That is true. He is. Hopefully the vacuum. There we go. That's a good shot. That's a good shot. Yeah, I still need some of the more details up to the chest, but I think overall it looks more conditioned. Side leg looks pretty good. Side chest posing is slightly improved. Here's what we need to see the back. That's a little improved. Again, like I said, he needed to bring that up a lot, so. He's pretty shredded. He's pretty shredded. And that's the one thing he did have in his control. The back is going to take some time. Adding maturity and detail in the chest and shoulders region, that's going to take time. But he could control his conditioning, and he brought that in. Vito looks super small. Turns out good Vito is really short and small. Yes, he is. Like, and I was hyping these. I was telling everyone to cool down on the hype, because I think he can look good. But the thing is, you can't compare him to what he's been posting on Instagram because he is just not like he is on Instagram. He uses filters. Sometimes he's even been using Photoshop. That's been confirmed. So I went into this thinking, well, as long as his condition is okay, and I know what he looked like last time because I just did the comparison and saw the video. So I think compared to his last show, night and day difference. Like, compared to his Instagram, yeah, sure, I would say, oh yeah, he looks small and he looks short. That's true. Compared to Instagram. Compared to what he brought at his last show, major improvement already, I can tell. Better than I thought. I like it, said the one. Yeah. My expectations were honestly pretty low, like I said. Vito peeled. Yeah, surprisingly in good condition, for sure. Vito doesn't have the Vito doesn't have the muscle density of the top guys besides maybe the legs. That's true. That's very true. But I think now that his condition is close and William Martin's front shots absolutely suck, I think he may be able to beat William Martin's, I have to say. They'll be fighting for that bronze medal. Vito's a short guy. He's shorter than Derek. Really? Oof, Gyno. Yeah, you'll have that. You will certainly have that. I don't understand why guys don't get it taken care of. You know, it's just like you're at a Arnold Classic. You have clearly enough money to compete, and competing is not cheap. Why not just take 6 weeks off and get a surgery where you're not even put under? I'm pretty sure it's just topical, local anesthesia to the area. I don't even think they put you under for gyno surgeries. William Martins has a terrible physique. LOL, sorry, but it's all from the front. Yeah, I think he would be benefited a lot by pulling a vacuum, a lot like Charles Griffin is, because Charles is good from the side and from the back, but he's super ugly from the front. Even with the vacuum, it's pretty. I don't like his physique, but you can't deny like it's such an improvement from what he was bringing in the abs department. So even if you have to hide him in those first two front shots, it's better than showing them. Even William in the abs and thighs, when he turns to the side, isn't really that bad, but for those front shots are abysmal. Oh, Ryan Chetty, thanks for the super chat. Let me. I'm reading the chat on my phone, so let me switch back to my other account. Actually, I don't want to mess up the stream. Let's see here. There we go. Yeah, Ryan Chetty, thanks for the super chat. I really appreciate that big time. Thank you so much. What currency is that? 7. I'm gonna look that up. ZAR currency, South African. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I assume you're in South Africa, but here comes William Martins. Good to see you from South Africa, by the way. But anyway, yeah, like that, those front shots, like, actually, now that I realize how wide his waist is, and it just isn't the abs, I don't know how much the vacuum would help him. I think I was just talking out of my ass. Side shots are great. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't show it at all. I'd keep hiding it. The back isn't super good either. The upper back is good, but he has the lower lat issue of like a Akeem Williams, where they're just not there. Man, good Vito may take this, honestly. Over Williams, that is. Is there a free live stream? Yes. So if mine is lagging, or if you guys just want to watch it on your own, it is go to the Muscle Contest International YouTube channel. It's free on their YouTube channel. Muscle Contest International. They're live right now. That's how I'm watching this, because I understand my stream may lag a little bit. So if you want some English-speaking commentary, open it up in another tab, come back here. His waist looks like it's 40 inches. Yeah, it's pretty bad. He looks not fresh, for sure. I think Good Vito can take him. Because, let's think about it. What does William have going for him besides those two side shots? And even the side tricep isn't even that good, because the waist has to be a factor there. Side chest, he beats Good Vito in. Maybe he beats Good Vito in the rear double. because it's like a race to the bottom there. I'd have to say who's the worst when they stand next to each other. But the front shots, Good Vito will take. And that is something that he has big time over William. Sure, Good Vito has a poor back. So does William. Good Vito has... That's mainly his main problem now that his conditioning is fixed. Okay. Vito, Raf, Tonio. Really? Vito's beating him in my opinion. I think Vito does beat Martins. Okay, Rafa, Tonio. First call out the Brazilian Nathan Diasha. Vito. Not even Williams. Not even... Excuse me, Martins. Not even Martin. Not even... What is his name? Am I retarded? William Martins. Yeah, but you can kind of tell. Like... Good Vito's a little bit shorter. And they'll move these guys around. They'll move Raphael into the middle. Massive difference between the Olympians. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Quarto de volta direito.
Vito is wide as hell, though. That's true. Vito is very wide. He's taking up a lot of space for being, you know, like 5'6", 5'7". Okay, so in this front shot, I gotta be honest, my eyes are going to Tonio. At least in this one. My eyes go to Tonio. Not Tonio. My eyes go to Vito in this one. And then in that front last spread, I kind of go with Rafa or Tonio, but because they're so similar, I'd probably go with Rafa. Side chest. Yeah, Vito doesn't have the density or hardness. It's Rafa in the side chest. And then at the back, this is going to be Tonio's for sure. Good Vito does look a little bit more improved than I thought he would be. Just a little, the conditioning helped. I don't think he necessarily added so much more density there. And Raphael's definitely getting closer to Tonio than I thought he would. Yeah, front last spread, you know, Raphael could take that because it's all about the width. And he's just wider shoulder to shoulder than Tonio, so. Let's see. Side try. I gotta go with... Good Vito looks pretty good there, too. Yeah. And then abs and thighs. Ooh, Raphael's abs look a little bit better. Tonio's not the deepest here. I don't know.
Obrigado, retornem à linha. Grupo, segundo grupo.
Okay, so I wouldn't get confused that they kept Rafa and Tonio off to the side. Notice how they kept them next to each other, but not in the center. They'll call them back out because I think it's pretty clear that those are the top two. So don't think that, oh, Raphael and Tonio are not even in the top two. They were on the outside. No, they were. That's actually indicative of how clear it is that they are in the top two. That they'll probably call them back later. Vito's pretty gnarly in the hamstrings. Very true. Very pleasantly surprised with Vito's conditioning. Rafa's just too big. Love his newfound size. Yeah, for sure. Like I said in my video leading up to this, as long as things are equal, the bigger man's going to win. Equal or close. Especially now that Raphael has, not now that Raphael has shape, he always has had shape, but now that shape and size are in Raphael's corner against Tonio, Tonio basically has to be ultra shredded. Raphael has to come in off, and Tonio has to start picking off some of these poses, not just the back poses. Yeah, and you can just... Williams is a... What is his name? What? William Martins. Jeez. William Martins is in the second call-out. So Good Vito has beaten at least William by the looks of it. Yeah, because you just make a terrible first impression when those are what your front shots look like. I think just out of the first 5 and second 5 call-outs in order as they came out. They'll do plays and calls. Yeah. Yeah. I still kind of am predicting a top 2 call-out. Maybe a top 3.
Bíceps duplo de costas.
Arnold will probably be like, Brazilians are the worst types of Mexicans.
Expansão dorsal.
Let's see how the poll has changed. Oh, well, I can't see it on my... Okay, I'm not going to mess that up. How is Rafael the biggest man on stage? Is that a rhetorical question? I think it's just because a lot of these guys are Brazilians and up-and-comers, or guys that just aren't as good. Like Rafael's... I know he's technically not the top placer at the show because Tonio's placed 8th and Rafael's only placed 10th, but Rafael's 10th place is a little more hard-fought than Tonio's 8th. I hate to do that, but it is. There is nothing salvageable about Martin's physique. Yeah, it's one of the uglier ones I've seen, I've got to be honest. I think on the bright side, they are muting the music when they have music playing by itself alone because they are also on YouTube, so they don't want to get copyrighted. So that makes it easy on me. But yeah, I think those were just those 10 guys. So what you see is what you got. But here come the real call-outs. Yep. Okay, seems like good videos in third. They called William Martins out for the 4th. Come on, man. That guy kind of looks like Stanimal on the end. Yeah, William's just happy that he somehow managed to squeak into the 5th spot, 4th or 5th. Yeah, that pose is abysmal for... Like, Martin is just... Oh, my... What the hell? Martin's the first call out? Yeah. This kind of just proves that size is king, because he was just so big than the other guys, but... This is not it. Put him back on the line. Put him back on the line, man. Ew, Martins makes this call out work. Oh, shit. Good Vito confident out there. I think he probably set expectations kind of low. Oh, we got a little bit of... Oh, getting a little physical. Vito looks like he was supposed to be 6 tall from the weight us, but he has short legs. Yeah, that's very accurate. Tonio's too small to win. I'm kind of getting that same impression. Yeah. Vito and Rafael. That's an okay shot for Vito. His back looks a little flimsy, but it's still like in condition, and his width is better than his detail. Lower body's good. Tonio's back is phenomenal. I think he still does beat Rafael, but Rafael's getting closer than I thought he would. Rafael's taking that shot. Yep. That's Rafael's shot. That's Rafael's. Oh no, although I could maybe go with William Martins. Rafael definitely got this, yeah. Oh, man. Williams' waist is wider than his shoulders. Like, guys, put him back on the line. Yeah, even Rafael's winning the most muscular. Like, it seems Vito is getting better pose to pose. Yeah. Hopefully they bring these guys back out again so we can get that 3-man call out, those 3 right there, because we did not need those other 2 guys, especially Williams. William Martins, right? I keep screwing this dude's name up. Well, whoever he is, he should have not been in that call out. Brazilian Nathan probably will bring up the rear on this one, except maybe the guy to his would be his right. His right is pretty good. Yeah. This guy looks a little skinny though, kind of like Nathan does in some poses, just because his waist is small, but so is his rib cage and everything, because he has that long torso and it's like the same size as his waist all the way up. Kind of want to see more of a natural taper. Guys, make sure you like the stream, subscribe, join the chat here. Do you guys think William Martins can pull off the upset? He was compared to the top guy, so he certainly is not out of this yet. Yeah, I wish the show didn't fall off so hard after the top 2, maybe 3. I could see Vito placing second. Is it likely? No, but there's still a chance. I think that's fair. I don't think it's very likely at all, but good Vito just may impress so many people, that he kind of gets there, but I kind of don't see that happening either. But I see what you're saying. I'm really impressed by Good Vito. Remember, Tony was 8th at the Olympia. That is true, and Good Vito stacks up well in a couple of poses. William Martins, 2024 Mr. Olympia. That is, in all likelihood, what we are looking at right now. What do you think about shoulders? What do you think about Vito's shoulders? It looks softer. The other body part's weird. He just doesn't have it's a lot like Derek Lunsford. He doesn't have the density of Derek in the chest, like Derek does in the chest and shoulders. And now we have a battle for, this would be 4th. The battle for 4th. And again, William Martins. Like, I get these other 2 are smaller, and but like, it's such an issue. William's physique is just a mess. Like, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. I kind of had him in 3rd because I was setting my expectations really low for Vito, but I was like, oh man, William has no chance of winning because of that waist. But I still placed him in 3rd. Man, it's even worse when you see it in action. Martins beats Hottie. True and factual. Yo, chat, is this physique even real? And the back is not that good either. It's like all of every bodybuilder's worst flaws put together. You've got Big Lenny's waist. You've got a pregnant woman's waist. You've got Akeem Williams' back. All right, that should be Williams' shot. Even in that shot, it doesn't look super bad. It's certainly ass, but it's not that bad. But any of the other shots, it's just abysmal. Big Lenny's waist. Yeah, true. Guys, that has to be one of the worst front doubles I've ever seen. I'm sorry, it is what it is. Martin's the Ronnie Coleman of our generation. I wouldn't go that far. I think they're not even comparable because Martin's is just so far ahead. What do you think about the guy on the right in this call out? He's like a smaller Stanimal.
De frente. Pode entrar na palinha.
He just needs more size. He's a taller guy, longer limbs. He just needs more size. Pretty good. I kind of like his flow better from the front than Brazilian Nathan Diasha. Hopefully we get the top 3 call out we need now. Tonio? Okay. Now I'm going to keep track of these poses here. I'll do my own little scorecard for you guys. All right.
Dá pouquinho mais espaço. A little step, yeah, just a little step, Tony. Yeah.
Okay. Akeem's back. It's true. William Martin's back is somehow may even be worse. No, it's not worse than the stomach, but it's pretty bad. I gotta say, I personally like Vito in the shot. Even still, I would have Raphael in second, though. I don't think Vito translates as well in this pose. I think his lats are a bit higher. I'd have Raphael here. Tonio in second. Vito in third. Front relax Vito is impressive for sure. Side chest, I mean, that's Raphael all day. Tonio in second because he at least has some detail and some hardness. Okay, now in the back, this should be Tonio's area. Tonio definitely needs some more oil, like someone said in the chat earlier. I'd probably give that to him, but Raphael's just so big, so it's getting close. Vito definitely in third in that one, though. Lat spread? That may be Rafa's. I'll give it to Tonio. I'll be nice. I'll give it to Tonio. Even good Vito is good in that one. Even good Vito is good. Side tricep is Rafa. In between the other two, I'm going to give it to Vito. I kind of like that side tricep for Vito, now that I see it. Couldn't see it in the photo I used in my comparison. I kind of have Rafa here. Once he crunches down on those abs and with the better legs. Close with Tonio, though. Good Vito just doesn't have the abs to measure up with the quads in that shot. And then in the most muscular, that's a Raphael shot. If Good Vito had the thickness and the density in the chest and the shoulders that Rafa or Tonio did, he probably could have won that. But he just is not there yet. So Tonio gets second in the most muscular, Vito gets third. Needs a posing coach. Yeah, all these Brazilian posing, their poses are just awful. Ramon Dino, Raphael's the only one that can pose decently. Yeah, this is Raphael. They're going to move Tonio in the middle, maybe even Good Vito in the middle, but I see this as a Raphael show. I know Good Vito is going to be the talk of the town, though. Even though he doesn't win, he's not going to win. I think he's going to be the talk of the town. This is a strong pro debut. You know, you can even give that to Tonio. I'd be okay with that. Yeah, that's Brandao. Tonio has a lot of roundness, though, so he gets a little closer. Make sure you guys like the stream. Okay, and then Good Vito was not... Okay. So yeah, Good Vito was not compared in the middle, but Tonio and Rafa were. Are they going to bring these guys all out together for a picture like they did the Wellness Girls? Yeah. Yeah, thank God. Put Williams on the end. William.
Isso é Brasil! Vamos levantar, vamos embora, vamos fazer o teste pra final. É isso! Levanta, levanta!
Make sure you guys like the stream and subscribe, so that way you'll get notified when we go to the finals later tonight. Because we'll be back for finals at like 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, a little mini post down here.
Isso! Arnold Sport Festival! Cadê o barulho, São Paulo?
A galera vai à loucura aqui na Expo
Também,
Center Norte.
é contigo.
Realmente um dia
Obrigado, isso
histórico.
conclui as finais. Vejo você, as prévias, vejo você nas finais às 7 horas para ver quem será o campeão da Wellness e Bodybuilding na celebração de 10
All right,
anos.
that's gonna do it for prejudging. Okay. So yeah, that's going to do it for Open Bodybuilding Prejudging. Make sure you guys like the stream and subscribe so that way you guys get notified when I come back at 5:30 later tonight for finals. I'll just read a couple more chats here. Maybe Tonio steals this one. He did finish in the middle, and by finish in the middle I mean he ended this comparison in the middle. Pardon my crass language. So he ended up in the middle. I think Raphael is in the driver's seat for sure, but I think Tonio has a chance. Like, I still have the same feelings as I did going into the show. I'd say 80-20 chance Raphael wins. Thanks for the content. Check you out for finals. All right, I'll be back at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time. All right. And if anybody doesn't have any more super chats, any regular chats, anything they want to say, we're going to head out of here. That's it for the Arnold Classic South America Bodybuilding Prejudging. Let me make absolutely sure we have nothing left on this. I'd hate to leave. Let's see. Arnold South America. This is like amateur bikini, I think. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I'm certainly not watching that. That's gonna do it. Do the I'll be back. Ash, good to see you in my chat, Ash. I don't have a very good Arnold impression to be like, I'll be back. I know Tominator used to do that all the time. God rest his soul. Tominator's not dead, but not on YouTube anymore. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this stream. Not today's streaming entirely. We will be back 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back, and that's going to be for Open Finals. So to see this, it's just one day for the Open. So don't wait around. Don't wait around for tomorrow. It's going to be back tonight, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. All right, that's going to do it. Make sure you guys like the stream, subscribe so you get notified when I'm going live next, and I'll see you guys in the next stream.